In the motion picture you are about to witness, the children you see might live on your street or in your county. They might be your neighbor's children. They might be yours or they might be mine. They are from the villages, the cities, the crossroads of Kentucky. That's why this motion picture is so very important to you. This is the story of Kosair Crippled Children Hospital in Louisville, a place where young lives begin anew. We call it House of Dreams.
A building of mortar and brick and stone and steel. A building in the style of an old English manor house, set back from one of the city's prominent boulevards on 10 acres of land. At dusk, sometimes you see a shadow move slowly across one of its windows, for this is a hospital, the Kosair Crippled Children Hospital. The dreams of children are the same everywhere. There are dreams that turn pumpkins into coaches, mice into horses, boyhood into manhood. Boyhood to manhood. Some children just grow, but for others, growing is more difficult. One of these children is Donald White, 10 years old. He lives with his father and mother, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, or he did, until the day there was a tragic accident. Now Donald is building a house, a playhouse of toy blocks. It's a dream house, and really, that is quite appropriate because for many months, Donald has lived in a house of dreams. These children don't romp and play and run outside to see the sun come up. They have their braces adjusted, their bandages changed. While the world wakes up outside, their lives continue on white beds, wheelchairs, and crutches. But life for them is beginning anew, for here, broken and bent bodies are made well again. Thousands of children have been here before these. Children who have grown to become healthy men and women. A new day and a new life is beginning. Words and pictures tell stories of adventure. For these boys will be men and may also perform great deeds. Miracles can happen in any life with dreams. What's a house of dreams made of? In part, it's made of helping hands, working with devotion, patience, and hope. Here is an institution dedicated and consecrated to give new hope, new inspiration, and new life to Kentucky's crippled children. This was the first hospital built in Kentucky dedicated solely to the care and rehabilitation of crippled children. What child is accepted by Kosair Hospital? Any child. Any child who is diagnosed as needing treatment and whose parents or guardians are unable to pay for the necessary hospitalization elsewhere. In times of emergency, polio cases in their early stages are accepted. When bodies are sick, minds too become ill, and Kosair Hospital provides a happy, normal atmosphere for children whose mental healing is often as important as their physical treatment. Here is a city within a city where people live and work to make Kosair Hospital a complete, virtually self-sufficient institution. Records which tell each child's history and progress, and food, the fuel for living. The welfare of the many depends upon the work of the skilled. Writing and cooking, scrubbing and cleaning, study and planning, care and creation. A shop on the hospital grounds makes the braces that first hold weak limbs. The people are nurses and doctors, attendants and technicians. They form the nucleus of the team that works together. Originally, the hospital staff was small, working in 2 wards, each with a capacity of 25 beds. To meet increasing demands, another ward of 15 beds was added. Later, a new wing was built which raised the capacity to 100 beds. Beds that are never empty. Healing the crippled is work that never ends. The staff of orthopedic surgeons and pediatricians give each case careful and thorough attention. For in medicine, no work is more gratifying than the care and cure of crippled children. There are specialists to correct deformity, burns, paralysis, spastic conditions, and other disabilities. Here, crippled children get attention from the most capable men in the profession. Kosair Hospital now has 2 well-equipped operating rooms. The medical staff is composed of the most skillful doctors and surgeons in the state, chosen for their ability and their willingness to serve. These are facts. But the minds of children, of crippled children, don't deal so much in facts. Children with the spirit yet streaming from the waters of baptism believe in love and in kindliness. Children believe that someday they will walk and run and play again. And the healing of children is sometimes easy, for each one has a fairy godmother in its soul. Donald's House of Dreams is building. It's building day by day. Soon his house will be finished, and his own dreams will come true. He will have scars, but only scars to remind him of the day he played too near a fire when flames reached out and left his leg a mass of burns. In other wards, little girls too build their dream houses, with furniture and dolls and with helping hands to soothe the passage of time. For healing is a matter of time, but also of opportunity. And today, through the understanding and help of the people of Kentucky, our crippled children are being given that opportunity. In the treatment of children, the total child must be considered. Not only his physical treatment, but his general health condition, his health habits, and his mental attitude. This includes dental examination and treatment for each patient. The hospital's dental department is sponsored and operated by the University of Louisville Dental School, under the supervision of the Dental Association of Jefferson County. In the lobby of the Kosair hangs the portrait of a man who, perhaps more than any other person, devoted his life to the treatment of Kentucky's crippled children, Dr. W. Barnett Owen. At his death in 1947, orthopedic surgery in the United States lost one of its leading figures. He was chief of Kosair's medical staff since the hospital's founding in 1926 and was a member of its board of directors. The children who live at Kosair come to regard the nurses and doctors as their second parents. During the weeks and the months they spend at the hospital, they look to them for guidance and inspiration. some, long treatment and the transplanting of skin from other limbs is necessary. Young muscles regain their strength slowly. Half of these children can be greatly helped, and almost all will be able to resume useful lives. Crippled children sometimes miss months or even years of regular schooling. So at periods set aside so as not to interfere with treatment, each child goes to school. In association with the Board of Education, the hospital opened its school for crippled children in 1926. A teacher especially qualified for work with these children rebuilds confidence. That starts anew the process of learning. Here, the building of minds keeps pace with the building of bodies. Treatment requires equipment, such as X-ray apparatus, which looks deep and makes pictures of the patient's limbs, to verify diagnosis, to record healing, and to chart further treatment. Almost every child who leaves Kosair Hospital takes with him an object of special meaning. A toy dog, a handmade rug, or perhaps a model airplane made by the child himself. Occupational therapy is employed to improve function and coordination and to develop particular skills of hands and arms. Prescribed treatments are given under the supervision of the surgeon in charge of the patient. In addition, occupational therapy furthers a child's instinctive desire to create and serves a diversional purpose, helping him pass many hours of hospitalization through useful creative work. These are proud children. For not only are they making useful things, they are regaining ability to use their bodies, and once more building self-confidence. For those who cannot leave their beds, there are other projects to occupy mind and body. Their imagination stimulated during long periods of inactivity, once channeled toward a goal, often shows talent and ability. Kosair Hospital was the first in the state and one of the first institutions in the nation to have complete facilities for the treatment of infantile paralysis. The hospital has both portable and permanent respirators, equipment which was invaluable in the saving of lives when our greatest polio epidemic struck in 1944. At that time, at the request of the Kentucky Crippled Children Commission, and in order to meet the emergency, Kosair Hospital made all its facilities available for the care of the state's polio victims. In the 5-month period when the epidemic was at its peak, more than 160 cases were admitted. Treatment of children stricken with infantile paralysis continues. In a white tile pool, warm, whirling water is one of the most effective aids in treatment. This is the hospital's hydrotherapy department. In water, weakened limbs lose much of their weight and can be moved almost without effort. For convalescing children, this is an important daily routine. For those unable to stand or sit, a tank is used. Circulation is stimulated by the water's action, aiding in the rebuilding of wasted tissues. Under the supervision of highly trained personnel, treatment includes the use of special lamps and exercise equipment, together with muscle re-education, all employed to speed the patient's recovery, a process called physiotherapy. And then, the greatest moment, the first steps. And finally, success, gratitude, and joy. And in this joy, Donald White became 11. Sometimes families are unable to send gifts, but each birthday is observed with a cake and candles and a small gift from the hospital. When the candles are blown out, each little heart beats faster. A year older and a year closer to being well again. And then there are children not requiring hospitalization, who come to Kosair and discharge patients who must return for further treatment. The hospital's outpatient clinic, under the auspices of the Kentucky Crippled Children Commission, is complete in itself. It is important that instructions for home treatment of the child be followed carefully, and thus the clinic is concerned not only with the child, but also with the parent. For parents assume great responsibilities after a child comes home. Former Kosair children are building their future in every walk of life. You, yes, you now a business college student, had perthus, disease of both hips. After surgery and 8 years of treatment, he now walks again. David. Dave, now a graduate of University of Louisville, was born with a short right leg. Through amputation and artificial leg, he now walks with scarcely a limp. And then there was Martha. Martha was stricken with arthritis. After long months of treatment at Kosair Hospital, she was discharged, but she stayed on to work as a medical records clerk. Mildred. Mildred was afflicted with an infection of the hip joint. After years of treatment, she has discarded her cast and braces, and now works in offices of the Infantile Paralysis Foundation. And then there was James. Jimmy was very young when admitted to Kosair Hospital. His left leg was amputated above the knee. After his discharge, he attended medical school, and at the age of 24, was a practicing physician. And at the hospital, the work that never ends goes on. Children come to Kosair Hospital from every city, every village, every crossroads in Kentucky. The people who guide the hospital's functions and who chart the way to new lives for its patients are devoted and proud. For no one stands straighter than he who stoops to help a child. With untiring devotion, strong minds, great hearts, true faith, and capable hands, the people who guide this destiny work toward one goal: making crippled children well again. Thus are citizens built, useful citizens, building a future in this, our world. These are but a few of the thousands of children treated at Kosair since its founding. The hospital has won distinguished honors, an accredited standing approved by the American Medical Association, and approved ratings from the American Hospital Association and the American College of Surgeons. All patients are admitted through the Kentucky Crippled Children Commission, the state agency for the care of crippled children. The commission pays the hospital a per diem rate for each child, but additional funds are necessary to maintain treatment of the children at the highest possible level. These additional funds are obtained by voluntary contributions and by funds raised at the carnival picnic held on the hospital grounds during the last week of July each year. Yes, a building of mortar and brick and stone and steel on 10 acres of land, but so important to every one of us. Turn not away from the crippled child, but for the grace of God, it might have been yours.